I try to compile 9 main lessons that we have come over, either myself or as a company. The first lesson and the most important lesson, and it's maybe related to what Tony said earlier about information and getting exposed to know-hows, is market research. From the very start, my father, when he went into this business, which was automobile interior, he was in Kuwait. He looked for this business. He found who's the biggest person trading in this business, looked for who is the main person in the region for this business. And he didn't do it, well, at that time there was no source of internet or other sources that we can find today. He simply went to the port. You remember the pictures I have showed you earlier about the Dubai Creek. He went there, he looked at the material, he asked where is the source. He decides to put himself in the supply chain or the distribution channel of this business. And today, we are one of the largest in the Middle East in this business. It's important for you to do market research, to remain competitive, to survive. As of today, we make sure we go to exhibitions, we make sure we regularly visit the market, whether it's here or even our markets, the destination markets. I'm scheduled to fly within this week to Africa to go visit some of our clients, just to make sure everything is fine and that there are no other competitors trying to take away our market share. Success in purchasing, this is an advice I have received from a Kuwaiti agent who has passed away 3 years ago, after he had his share of experience of doing agent and trade with several brands in the region. If you are able to recognize where are the proper sources of items and what exactly you need and what is the right price to buy, then you are successful. If not, even if you are the best person in sales, you will never be able to get the value for what you're looking for. Lesson 2, location. The term key money, for those who are in the market, they know it very well. Those who are in the offices, maybe they are not familiar with it. As I mentioned, for a knife souk, we paid 1 million dirhams. Back in, let's say, 6 years back, Chinese were very smart to, even going to the second point, access regional locally. They have come, I heard stories about offering for small shops in Murshid Bazaar up to 5 million dirhams just to vacate and leave me do the business in your place. And I'm talking about paying the 5 millions for a person who's renting, not the owner of the building. Of course, these numbers are not valid anymore because Chinese have got over the supply chain and some of them even have moved to the destination markets. It's important for you to know whether you want to do retail or wholesale. Even within Dubai market, within Deira market, that's where we are. Your location will determine if you will be good in retail or wholesale. One more aspect about, I mentioned the Chinese aspect, but one more aspect about the location history. Back in 1992, when I was much younger, when all the CIS, Russian-speaking customers walked in, and we had, and it was glory, it was gold age for all the traders who were working there. All of a sudden, they had people coming in. For us doing textile, we are used to selling rolls. I'm talking about maybe 100 meters, 200 meters. They used to come and ask questions, and I remember the term, skolka kilometer. They used to buy in kilometers, not even in meters. But those days are gone. I mean, they moved to destinations. We still have, the good traders still have their clients. They still compete, and they're still doing well. Lesson number 3, employee or partner. As my father has grown in his business, he decided to have a partner. The partnership has lasted for 20 years. One day, the partner decides to split off. And that one day was back in 2001, the time that they could utilize the resources to invest in other businesses. And of course, the partner would only do the same business. Always think whether you want to have a partner to help you grow the business or employees. Of course, you have to take strategic considerations, commitment that will come from a partner comparing to employees, and growth aspects. We have lost at least 7 employees from our business, and they ended up doing their own startup businesses within the area. Over the last few years, I have made sure that we don't lose our trade secrets with it. as you grow and as you have employees, make sure that your employees do not simply take your trade secrets and become your next competitor. It's easy to happen in Dubai. It's an open economy. Moving on to lesson 4, partners and suppliers. You cannot survive without partners. And here I want, specifically, it's your product suppliers, your banks, and the government, because that's where the regulations come in. At some times, it was difficult to get suppliers because there were 1 or 2 suppliers for each item. So if you have control over supplier, you're the king, you don't have to worry. Not anymore. Any product now, you'll find suppliers not only from China, but from different places. Banks, we have worked with 3 banks. In 2009, when things got a bit not well, one of the banks decided that they don't want to work with us, although they had all the collaterals that they needed in place. The reason is they were short in liquidity and they just couldn't help us out. The other 2 banks, they did very well with us, but overall we were doing well in our cash management, so we didn't have any effect. Careful who you are dealing with and how you manage your relationship with the banks. Government, a simple example I would put on the table here is Dubai municipality for our business is coming up with regulations to regulate or put standards on the safety and health of textile. If you do not follow up and have enough relationship with the governments to know what's coming up, you might end up with a totally different kind of business. Things will change. Of course, I have put the flag of China. I have to, as I say to many of my friends, my first visit to China was back in 2003. At that time, they used to almost beg us for business. 3 years ago, we go to an exhibition and we buy in bulks. And I'm talking about the first hour of the exhibition. We ask for the first collection, sold. Second collection, sold. Third collection, sold. Please develop something else for us. And they showed no interest to do any more business with us. This is how things have changed in China. Of course, as they have increased the capacities, we are getting business again, but you have to understand how China is doing. And also, the price range of material has increased so much that it's not cheap anymore in China. And if you are doing the trade business for long, you'll know how the things are changing. Whatever we used to buy for $1 6 years ago, we are paying $2 for it right now. Moving on to lesson number 5. It's an ongoing question that keeps rising and keeps changing over time. Cash or credit? It's always about liquidity or market share. When things got a little bit shaky in 2009, I'll talk about the transformation as well. Our customers tried to push, our business norm is 3 months credit. It's 3 to 4 months. They tried to push for another 2 months because they were claiming that Dubai is going through a tough time. That was not the case. Everyone had the cash, but people were just trying to delay payment. In the times of, let's say, 20 years ago, we used to sell our material in cash as the material reaches the port. We get the cash, you get the good. That's it. It will keep changing if competition decides to, but so far we are doing well. It could be a hurdle to business growth. I know of a competitor that because of the period they spend from paying cash to the Chinese at production, by the time they sell and they get their cash back, they're unable to meet their market demand. So you have to plan your cash well and understand how credit affects your business. And I have to not neglect the Dubai business fraud stories, because we have lost money to people who come, they do cash business with you for a few days. They will continue doing business, they will give you a check, pass the check, give me the goods later. One fine day they will come and say, please take the check, you can clear it tomorrow. And they do this not with you only, they do it with few. We have a mobile business that we have lost $1 million dirham in. The person who has done this fraud, he has taken from the market 10 million dirhams within business of 2 months. And involved, there was one local guy. So you don't even trust locals on this. Make sure that you get your money, or if it's a business norm, within acceptable credit limits. This is a poster I used to see when I was a kid. I don't see it anymore, but I could find it through Google. It's either you have the cash with you, or You are the guy with the checks and invoices that are pending and trying to collect, which is very difficult to do in Dubai.